morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Sarah's Kitchen. We're here baking today. We have two shows going on at the same time. I'm going to move this. This is for my next step. We're doing YouTube Live as we speak, and we're doing Instagram. Hi, everyone. Hello from London and all over. Welcome, welcome. I'm fixing the cameras. So yesterday I made this beautiful and so much more tasty than you could ever imagine. Definitely suggest you guys get on this. It's so good. I love that you guys are joining me from all over. You know that I'm doing YouTube Live as we're doing Instagram Live, so I'm feeding you all. If you want to re-watch this cake process video, this show, get on YouTube, and it'll be on Instagram Live for 24 hours. So this is the best way I can do it for you guys. I'm shooting it out, one hit, and everyone can go ahead and access the video. 1.5 sticks of butter is in here. We are going to add 1/4 cup of, this is my little trade secret. I add 1/4 cup of water. If your butter is not really room temperature, don't ask, it just works. To that, I'm gonna add 1 cup of granulated sugar, and I brought everything here so I don't step away too long. Welcome to Sarah's Kitchen. If you guys are new to my Instagram page or YouTube page, welcome. This is real cooking, real life, real home, real kitchen, real food. All right, 1 cup of granulated sugar to 1.5 sticks of butter. Each stick is 1/2 cup. We're just gonna sand that. Okay, that's the best way to call it. We're just gonna get it really soft and fluffy. So I made this cake yesterday. It's pumpkin season. I promised you guys on Instagram that I'm gonna post something pumpkin-y because it's my favorite season of the entire year is fall and Christmas. So we're gonna chug along with pumpkin. I can never, ever, ever get enough of pumpkin in my recipes. My kids love it. And it's so soothing. There's the pumpkin. Now this originally is a banana cake, but I added pumpkin. You guys know that I love to fidget with my recipes. I take 2 really, really, really ripe bananas, and I'm going to smash them up. And I have another secret that I'm going to teach you guys. I'm going to tell you all about it. I take these really, really, really ripe bananas. They don't go bad when the skin is like that. This is how you want it to be when you're baking. It's so good. Then, just to get it nicely smashed, all right, here it is. Look how soft it is. And you want it to be smashed. For this recipe, you don't want it to be chunky. It's not like a banana cupcake. And I find my kids eat it better. My kids eat it better when it is nice and smashed. Look at that. This is so beautifully whipped. You want to whip that butter, and you want to scrape down your mixer and the bowl, your little spatula thingamajiggy, and scrape down the bowl because the butter will get in the bottom and stick with the sugar. Here's what we're doing. Just scrape it down and get it going again. As you're preparing your stuff, just let this go. You're not ruining anything. This is happy, happy times for your butter and sugar to get nice and mixed to this banana, okay, your recipe, I have the recipe here. It's also on the highlights. I posted it, and now it'll be on YouTube. To your banana, 2 smushed bananas, really, really ripe. I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of sugar. This will help go in there and smash it up even better. It really does. The granulates of the sugar will go in there and tear through the banana so they don't stick together. Now the recipe that I have written out, I put a 1/4 cup, 1 1/4 cup of sugar. You can put the 1 1/4 straight into the butter. I like to divvy it up like this. This is all going in there together. And trust me when I tell you, once you add the sugar to this banana, it really will help smash out all of those lumps that the banana will have. And take your time, and this will continue blending. It can. You're not hurting the butter or the sugar. Nothing's happening. It's not like your eggs are in there. It's not like your flour's in there. It's gonna get toughened out. So I made this for our neighbor last night. They had a concert at their house. We kind of sat outside under the stars and listened to music. It was kind of potluck, so that's always just a brilliant idea whenever you get tied up, and you know, we all have kids working, running around with their schedule. Just open your doors, bless you, and say potluck, and the entire neighborhood comes together. It was so sweet. Thank you, Heather and Sean, for opening your doors to us. And so I made this cake. I posted it. It's on Instagram, in Sarah's Kitchen. This is for the YouTube watchers. If you missed it, go find it. And no joke, I put it on the table, and hardly anybody was in the kitchen. I put it in the center of the table. I walked out, said a few hellos, and then I told my girlfriend who commented on my picture, I said, oh my God, Mariah, she just had a baby. And every time I post, she's like, oh my God, I want your food. I said to Mariah, go get a slice of cake before it disappears. And she goes, let's go. We went inside and the cake was gone. I think 5 minutes. I'll be generous and say it took 7 minutes. The thing was gone. And my daughter comes and she's like, Mommy, my friends were like, your mommy's cake is insane, and I couldn't even taste it. Make this cake, it's so delicious. All right, so now I'm gonna add the eggs. 3 large eggs I have. These are from my chickens. You guys know that already. If you're new to me, again, hit subscribe so you'll get notified when I post videos. Just crack it in there. I move it and I crack them one at a time. It blends well. Also, if there's something that falls in there by mistake, you can catch it and scoop it out. So 3 eggs, wherever you are and you're watching me, we're adding 3 eggs one at a time to 1 1/2 sticks of butter and 1 cup granulated sugar. You can add brown sugar to this, but I've told you guys before, brown sugar has more moisture in it. That's why it becomes a little bit more molassesy. I'm not sure if that's a word, but I like to use molassesy. I'm doing YouTube Live, so I'm not chatting with my Instagram Live people. I love you guys for watching. My niece just joined. Shadi, make this cake. It's so easy. It's so good. It's so yummy. So I texted my dear friend and I said, I'm gonna bring you this cake. It's so yummy. Another friend of mine. I always try my recipes a couple times, but Heather's house last night was the first time. And when I finished assembling it, I put it all on my highlights on Instagram. When I finished assembling it, literally poured the last drip of caramel sauce over it. And we walked out and I said to my husband, I said, Bobby, I think this is the most insane cake I've ever made. I think it's so tasty, and I couldn't taste it because it was all done and I couldn't cut a layer into it. It was so nerve-wracking. But yeah, people were begging for crumbs last night. That's it. That's the batter, that's not all the batter. That was the 3 eggs, and now I'm gonna put the banana. Now, if you were to measure this, this will be 2/3 of a cup mashed up banana. And remember, I added a 1/4 cup granulated sugar to it, just to help break up the banana plumps of it, right? And then to this, I will add 2/3 of a cup pumpkin puree. If you don't want to use pumpkin, if it's not pumpkin season, or you just don't want to use pumpkin, you don't have to. Just make it 1.25 cups of bananas. So more bananas. You don't want to use bananas and you just want to do pumpkin, hey, it's your recipe. Do as you like with it. So your go-to measurement is 1.25 cups to about 1.5 cups of your puree. I like to do pumpkin banana because of what's going to happen afterwards. There's going to be cream cheese icing, spiced cream cheese icing that's going to go in this cake. I'm going to put layers of banana, sliced banana on the layers, and then it's going to have caramel sauce. Oh, homemade, people. Everything is homemade in this kitchen. In Sarah's kitchen, we're making homemade everything. The icing's from scratch. I think it's easier to have it homemade. And you know, thank God to Costco delivery. I don't even have to go to Costco anymore. I just call and it comes to me. Bless them. If you don't have Costco delivery, there's Instacart. All the local markets now deliver same day within 2 hours. They're all competing. Amazon Fresh is doing it, obviously. They are the longest. Let's clear this nonsense out of here so I have room to chitty chat with you guys. All right, so there goes that, okay? And it's all written down in steps. If you guys see a recipe, there's a reason why recipes are written in that order. That's the order you guys mix it in. That's another thing that's good to know. Scrape down your bowl. And here's where it's gonna start finishing up. Look, when I scrape it down, I still see butter in there. Ooh, get it all blended. This cake is so simple. I know you guys are gonna make it. I know you guys are gonna DM me or email me and you're gonna say, oh my God, it changed our lives. It really will. This batter is so easy to go to and just build on it. If you wanna change it, make it your own. All right, so here we go. We're gonna blend that up. And now we're gonna add the flour to it, which is gonna be 2 cups. And I used my cup to add the sugar. Here's my flour. 2 1/4 cups flour is gonna go in there. Here's 1. And once you add it, blend a little, mix it up, turn it off. You don't wanna over mix your flour. That'll tighten your cake. Here's another cup, and some will splatter all over. It is what it is. Ah! Look at it. That's it. And 1/4. I am going to eye my 1/4. You guys use your own 1/4 thing. That's more than 1/4. I have an eye for it already. I really do. And then to that, we're gonna add a 1/4 cup. No, sorry, I apologize. I checked my recipe. 1/3 cup milk. Now somebody asked me if they could make this without eggs. Yes, you may. You use applesauce. So a 1/4 cup of unsweetened applesauce goes in place of 1 egg. You can whip it with baking powder. Speaking of which, I'm gonna put 1 good teaspoon of baking powder in here. Actually, I'm gonna put 2. And then I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Sometimes I run them through my finger just so we don't end up with chunks. And this is my last bit of blending. Remember, we put the last bit of flour. 1/3 cup milk, baking powder, baking soda, and I'm gonna put a pinch of salt in there. 1 pinch of salt. I like to spread it everywhere. Even though it'll get everywhere, I still like to kind of go. That's it. Look at that. That's it. What is that? More batter? All right. Oh gosh, smells so good. So now you're probably wondering, how come there's no spices in here? I don't like to add the spices in the cake. I'm gonna add it in my icing. I'm gonna make cream cheese, spiced cream cheese icing. We're gonna do cream cheese. We're gonna whip it with heavy cream, a little bit of confection sugar or powder sugar, and then we're gonna spice it up with cinnamon. And that's where you and your own taste buds come into place. I like it nice and spicy, so I add a lot of cinnamon. About 2 tablespoons of cinnamon goes in there, the way I do it. And I add pumpkin pie spice. It is my absolute favorite spice mix. I always have one at home. I always use it year long. You guys have all seen me. I put it in everything. I even cook with it. It's just one of my favorite things to do, to use. All right, here we go. We're gonna scrape this down our bowl, and we're gonna show you guys this beautiful batter. Look at that. How simple was that? And it still has butter in the bottom. That's why you're scraping. So everything, all the ingredients that sink in the bottom, we want to just kind of pull it out. Now this cake is going to be delivered, so I have to do a really good job at this point. I'm not going to put it in a bundt cake pan that I usually do. That's what I did last night. I'm going to put this, and I'm going to assemble it a whole different way. But I'm going to put this in these little ramekins. Look how pretty these are. Spring fold, right? These are small ones. You can make individual cheesecakes in these. You can make whoopie pies in these. I'm going to put them in here. And so we are going to move my cup of coffee. I'm going to put some butter in the bottom. Yes, I'm going to use my finger. Okay, and you can spray it, baking spray. I'm just going to, I have this, always butter is sitting out on my counter. Always, always, always. And guess what? It's so soft. This is my sure way of getting it in all the right places. And then I'm gonna pour it in here, my batter. I'm gonna make, I think I'm gonna make 6 or 7 of these and just get it everywhere. Now the good thing with this ramekin is, it pops out from around the cake. I know it won't get stuck. Here it is. I've decided, guys, to change my routine. You guys know that I go cycle every day, or I go on long hikes every day in the morning. I'm gonna change my routine now and try and go live for you guys every day in the morning when the kids go to school. And then what I will do is at night go and cycle. Let's see if I have enough energy to do that. I think I will. And holiday season is coming. So many of you ask me, oh my God, how do you stay in shape? You know, I taste everything. I don't overeat anything, though I'm very strict on the weekdays, because on the weekends I like to have fun and enjoy and go out. When I'm out at parties or restaurants, I hate to be the person that doesn't eat, that says, no, I can't eat that. I eat everything and anything I want over the weekends. I really do. You've seen me at parties. There's nothing I don't eat. I eat bread, I eat cheese, I eat carbs. And then on the weekdays, I kind of buckle down and I go, we're gonna take this really seriously. All right, so there's the butter in my ramekins. And now you may use one of these lovely ladles, just so I'm gonna do, because I wanna have the right measurement go into every single one of these, okay? Last night when I did it in the bundt cake, bundt pan, I just poured it in. So this is gonna go in here. And I will use my handy dandy plastic spatula to scoop it out. Yep, about one per dish. And then what's gonna happen is these are gonna bake up, they're gonna grow up, and then when they're done, I'm gonna cut them in half, and I'm gonna layer them with first the caramel sauce, then the icing, which is the cream cheese icing, and then I'm gonna cut sliced up bananas and put it over, and then put another layer of cake. I gotta tell you, oh my God. Yes, this is the thing that I would also eat over the weekend. This is what works for me. Do what works for you. We were laughing with my girlfriend this weekend. I was saying, you know, I really did try to be that person you hear, oh, you know what, I gave in and I gained 20 pounds and I was happier than I've ever been. I won't be that person, so I have to figure out some way to make all the yummy foods in the world, I'm such a foodie, work for me. And you know, I do cheat a little bit during the week, I really do. I think on Wednesdays I cheat, because I don't want to lose weight. All right, see how this is happening? I just want to maintain. This kind of works for me. One ladle just kind of goes right in the center. Just eye it out. I've seen people actually put these on their little baking scales just to make sure. Bakeries do that, restaurants do that. Everything's changing nowadays. Everything's changing. Cooking and baking is becoming more rustic and homemade, so no one's really taking it so seriously, unless you're making, well, even then, unless you're making those fancy, pretty cookies. Even then, I like to know that it didn't come out of a machine and it was actually really handmade. So this is what's gonna happen. This is gonna go in the oven, and it's gonna cook really quick because it's not a big pan. I'm gonna put it in the oven at 350, and it's gonna be probably 20 to 30 minutes, depending on your oven. So kind of keep an eye on it. Take a toothpick or a knife and go right down the center and pull it out. It might be wet at 20 and then all of a sudden at 23 it'll be nice and done. So don't panic. The edges are gonna get a lot of color. That's fine because that's where it's gonna be covered with the icing and the caramel sauce, and it's gonna be so tasty. I cannot reiterate enough to you guys how yum this cake is gonna be. You're gonna be a star. Make the cake. All right, there's 4. I can do all and then go into the oven. And this was one batter. This was one bundt cake batter. I didn't over make anything. You guys saw that. Like I say to you, if you take baking so hard, you'll end up not baking. Take it easy. It's okay. Try it, experiment with it. Make it your own recipe. If you don't like something, try it with something you like. Experiment in your kitchen and get this going. Here, I'm gonna tap them down. These are all pretty much the same. It's not a big deal. 1 scoop seems to be, there it is. I still have extra. These are also be great to make into little donuts or little itty bitty cupcake molds. I'm gonna show you guys what I mean by that. I have these little, this tartlet mold. I can pour some in there, and I will do that with the batter out of like a piping bag. That's the best way to do these. So now we're gonna go in the oven. This one looks like it has a little more than all of them, but the rest are all the same. Maybe scoop some off the top of this because I don't want to waste it, and I'd rather put it in my donut or tartlet ramekin. There we go. We are ready to go in, people. Now I will post this picture. I love you guys. I'm gonna end this live, but I will come back and show you guys how to do the caramel sauce, which is so simple. All you need is sugar, water, butter, and heavy cream. I'm gonna stick this in the oven and then I'll come back and end our live. Okay, friends, so don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. That way you guys will get a notification once I post a new video or recipe. And give me thumbs up, write me, email me, DM me on Instagram and Sarah's Kitchen. Or if you have any questions, just contact me. Mwah. Thank you for joining, and I will see you guys next time on our next live video.